Greetings Grapple fans, and welcome to this, your wrap-up show for our special event, lovely Jubilee from a scorching Gillingham High Street. Our first exhibition of the day saw UKPW newcomer Alf Edwards face off against one half of the UKPW Tag Team Champions, Rex Armstrong, in singles competition. Always a fan favourite, Rex was well received by the gathering crowd, and he went to work on Edwards, making use of his greater experience and keeping his opponent on the back foot. But momentum shifted with an eye poke and a cannonball senton, and from that point it was all Edwards. He even managed to kick out following a huge spear before catching Armstrong in a surprise roll-up for the win. Up next saw a returning Fabio Romano go head-to-head with one of the day's first new faces, all the way from New York City. This is Delphine. This was the typical arrogant Fabio from the off, and after he taught me the correct way to do my job, he set about dismantling the debutante. Delphine showed brief flashes of brilliance, catching Romano off guard with his athletic repertoire. But Fabio never looked like losing, and it was only a matter of time until the inevitable became reality, with Fabio picking up the 1-2-3 after spiking Delphine on his head into the mat. Our third contest of the day saw Grady take on a huge challenge in the form of the returning battering ram, Clayton. Clayton had made a huge impact in his first few showings and clearly would be no walkover for O'Grady despite having the edge in experience. It was uphill all the way as he tried valiantly to take the bigger man down, and when he found himself on the wrong end of a running crossbody, the result became a foregone conclusion, as Moore lined up a devastating senton splash from Brett's rope for a big win for a big man. This is the battering ram, Clayton Moore. Next up was tag team action, with a tag team debuting Vickie Twothumbs and Basham facing off with Memes and another debutante, Artemis. The match started with Basham and Memes in the ring, with Memes dominating the opening minutes. Basham quickly decided to bail on the proceedings, leaving the two debutantes go head to head. And after a brief back and forth, Vickie Twothumbs would come out squarely on top, and despite an obvious simmering tension with her partner, the pair were able to keep Artemis isolated for a long period. Eventually it would be Memes to the rescue, and after some brief but heavy offense, the crowd knew what time it was, as they chanted, and they were duly delivered a crushing RKO, before Artemis tagged in to seal the win with a fisherman suplex. After the bell, a display of sportsmanship from her partner clearly angered Basham, who was quickly dispatched for his trouble. Up next was the day's most anticipated clash, as UKPW fan favourite and hometown hero The Nail clashed with the debuting Ty Hazard. These two competitors had a clear mutual respect, and the contest was very evenly matched and heavy hitting from the off, with both men going all out to delight the now packed Gillingham High Street, and the action spilled out onto the unforgiving concrete, giving them a much closer look. On re-entering the ring, The Nail plucked Hazard from the air with a mean sit-out powerbomb and looked to assert himself on the match, but every time was met with stiff resistance. Hazard refused to stay down, kicking out at 2 from The Nail's patented even flow nail gun DDT and narrowly avoiding a big moonsault before connecting with a wild scissors kick of his own. But in the end, it all came down to a sneaky blindside counter from The Nail, which scored the 3 count by the slimmest of margins. And then it was time for trios tag action when Team Fabio, Joe Rose, Prince Dean and Fabio Romano took on Team Rex, Kodi, Delphine and Rex Armstrong. We started with the two team captains in the ring, both who had already competed in the sweltering heat earlier in the day, but neither seemed to be fatigued at all as they both looked to gain the upper hand. Eventually the fresher competitors would hit the ring and Team Rex would gain the upper hand with simultaneous slams before the action spilled onto the high street itself. When the action returned to the ring, Delphine was in serious trouble, getting himself isolated on the wrong side of the ring. But when he got free and made a scorching hot tag to Rex Armstrong, the Tyrannosaurus ran wild, hitting a big spear before taking care of Team Fabio almost single-handedly for the win. It was then on to our final singles exhibition of the day with another appearance from Alf Edwards, who beat Rex Armstrong in the opening bout, and Jake O'Grady, who lost earlier in the day to Clayton Moore. But despite the setback, Jake approached the match extremely confidently, demonstrating his technical wrestling prowess over the much less experienced opponent and clearly frustrated Edwards. Edwards finally found his way into the match using a slightly questionable method and got to work subduing O'Grady. But despite dealing considerable damage, he couldn't make it count and soon found himself on the receiving end of another offensive barrage before being forced to tap out to the guillotine choke. And in the day's main event, it would be a 10-person over-the-top rope Battle Royale Jubilee match, featuring Prince Dean, Basham, Joe Rose and Alf Edwards, Delphine, Kodi, Artemis, Vicky Twothumbs, Andreas J, and special entrant, former UKPW champion Dow Jones. The match erupted into a brawl from the opening moments, but not until Delphine had hung Prince Dean up on the top rope. The action was all over the place, with Basham being eliminated first by Artemis, followed by Delphine being eliminated by Vicky Twothumbs, closely followed by Kodi, again eliminated by Artemis. Next to go was Alf Edwards, ending a day of mixed fortunes by being kicked from the apron by a combination of Andreas J and Vicky Twothumbs, before all the remaining participants ganged up on the dastardly Dow Jones, pummeling him in the corner before dumping him onto the outside, leaving our final four, Artemis, Vicky Twothumbs, Andreas J and Prince Dean, who was still hung up precariously over the commentation station on the top rope. Next over the top rope was Vicky, tossed out by Andreas J, followed by Prince Dean, who was finally freed from his perch only to be instantly hoisted out. And it would seem Artemis would stand tall again at the finish, using Jay's momentum to send him over the top rope to the apron before finishing him off with a stiff forearm smash. Artemis wins the Battle Royale Jubilee and celebrated in the ring with memes to finish the day's proceedings. That was your wrap up for our special event, UKPW Lovely Jubilee, on Gillingham High Street in association with the Gillingham Street Angels. New events are being announced thick and fast, and our current lineup are on the screen now, along with our social media links which contain all updated listings. As always, please like, share and subscribe, check out the links in the description and check back regularly for more top wrestling action. I've been the Big OC Dave O'Connor, and I'll speak to you again soon, Grapple fans.